Welcome everybody to the next episode of the ASC's online series, a double bill on text network and analysis, that ever-growing and exciting area of our world. Dmitry, owner of Nodus Labs, will be walking us through his groundbreaking software and showing us how we can apply that to market research. Then Ruva Mankola, senior researcher on Breaking Blue's advanced analytics team, is very kindly sharing a case study on the topic. So we have knowledge share on advanced tech and real-world consultant experience, the perfect combination for the ASC. A huge thank you as always for the continued support from our sponsors, vital during these times. These are great companies across data collection, analysis, visualization and service support. So please do visit their website and indeed our website for more information. Over to you, Dmitry.
Thank you, Matt, and to the ASC for the opportunity to speak. My name is Dmitry. I'm from infranodus.com and I'm going to show how you can use text network analysis to visualize and analyze any market niche. First, I will explain in a few words how text network analysis works. Here on the graph, you can see a visualization of Google search results for the query, which is data science. And what you can see are the words that are represented as the nodes on the graph, and the co-occurrences of the words are the connections between them. So we get Google search results, and then we get every word, normalize them, and then look at the co-occurrences and build a graph. Then we apply various graph theory applications to this visualization to see what are the most relevant nodes in the graph using between a centrality measure, which measures the influence of each node in the graph, and also community detection, which is based on how densely the nodes are connected together. So what you can see is a visual representation of Google search results for data science made in this way. You can see that people can find a lot about machine learning, for example, or also Python and learning Python for data science. Then online bootcamps are quite prominent. So it just becomes a very quick and easy way to get the gist and the overview of a certain topic, and also to see how the main terms are connected. Now we will apply the same method to market analysis. I'm going to demonstrate to you how it works. You log into Infranodus and then you go to the market niche app here, and then type in a topic you're interested in. In this case, it's going to be health foods. Choose the language. Default language is fine, or English, market, USA. You actually have quite a choice here. And what's going to happen now is that Infranodus will visualize two graphs and overlay them on top of each other. One graph is the visualization of Google search results for health foods, and the other graph is the visualization of what people search for when they search for health foods. I'm going to show you how it works. So here you have the both graphs together. You can already see that there is some difference structurally. Let's zoom in. So you have the current informational supply. This is the Google search results for health foods. This is what you see when you search for health foods in English in the USA. And what you can see here, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so it's easier for you to see the results. You have the analytics panel on the right, which is showing you what are the main topics and how they're connected. And you have the graph here. The bigger words are the ones that have more influence in this discourse. So these are not necessarily the most frequently mentioned words. These are the words that occur most often between the most influential topics that we find in relation to this search query. Here you can see that people find a lot of stuff about healthy recipes when they search for health foods. And then another big cluster is organic supplements, vitamins. So this is what people find when they search for health foods. Now, if we go to the other graph, which is the informational demand, this is what people are searching for when they search for health foods. And here you can see that they search a lot for recipes also, healthy, snacks, losing weight, meals, and so on. So, for example, already what we can see clearly from comparing these two graphs is that the informational supply, so what people actually find on Google, is presenting them a lot of stuff about organic, natural supplements, vitamins, and so on. But actually, this is not necessarily the most relevant thing of what they actually search for. So what's interesting to do here is to overlay these two graphs together. Here is the fourth option, niche insights, and to see what is the difference between the demand and the supply. So what people search for, but what they don't find. And we can see here all the terms that they search for but they don't find connected together, so we can see how they're being used in context. We can see that, for example, the most influential one is the meal lose. We can click meal lose and see that, okay, people are searching for simple meal plan to lose weight, also healthy meals on budget to lose weight. So people need some simple, cheap, easy recipes and meal plans that help them to lose weight when they search for health food. So this is one aspect that we can focus on if we decided to, for example, write some interesting content in relation to this subject, right? So this is the first one. The second one is something about kids and charts. So let's click on these two nodes and see that, okay, people are searching for food charts for kids. So they need some simple information that would enable them to make the right choices. And then we also have unhealthy charts, unhealthy food charts as well. So some simple visualizations for healthy and unhealthy foods, and vegetarian recipes as well. So basically what's interesting here, and Indian, by the way, yeah, so vegetarian, Indian, healthy recipes. So this already gives us a pretty good idea of what we can focus on if, let's say, we were interested to enter into this market niche. We know that it's already saturated with a lot of stuff, but we just found out that if we create content which is about simple meal plans and vegetarian Indian foods and supplemented with some visual charts that help people make their choices, then we will make sure that we touch upon the part of the market of the people who are searching for this stuff but cannot yet really find them easily. We did actually a few experiments on this subject with other topics like data science and text analysis, and we found out that as soon as you create content that fills in this empty niche, it actually gets pushed higher in the Google search results. So there might be something in their algorithm that tends to detect those web pages and websites which focus on what's missing, you know, so that can be a very interesting tool also for search engine optimization. I'm going to give you another example here. So for instance, just to demonstrate again how it would work with another subject, let's say we're interested in data science. So again, what's going to happen now is that Nodus will create two graphs. One is the search results for data science, and the other one is what people search for in relation to these topics. So we can go directly into niche insights and see very quickly, okay, so what people search for, demand, but what they don't find, demand minus supply, are the professional. Let me just increase the page here, okay. They are searching for professional certificates, IBM Data Science Professional Certificate. So there's some demand about education in relation to data science. So people are searching for salary and for the certificates that would enable them to get a job. And there is also Microsoft certification as well. So here again, we have a very quick way of finding out what is missing in the current informational field. And this can help us make the right choices when we create content to focus on the stuff that people need but don't yet have. And this is a very powerful way how text network analysis can help in general, you know, because it allows you not only to look into the main patterns that appear in any text, in any data, but also see how they relate to each other. So we don't just see here professional, we also see that it relates to certificate and then it relates to salary. So we can get a very precise way of discovering very specific, interesting topics that we wouldn't be able to discover otherwise. And it's also very quick and very visual as well. You have a lot of tools here that allow you to get more insights. If you're interested to explore them, you know, you can always click onto the analytics panel here and see how it works. And in general, if you're interested in text network analysis, what you can also do, I'm just gonna make a little test and show you. You can actually just, let me choose another graph here. You can also just type in new things as you go. So for example, I'm interested in data science and how it can be used to analyze text. You see, you have the graph already made live. And then let's say that text mining can be very useful for learning what text is about. We add another sentence, you see it adds a structure, and so on. So you can also use it as a sort of live ideation engine as well, and experiment with text network analysis and visualization in this way. I hope you find this information useful, and I invite you to try it out on infranodus.com. And if you need any help, if you have any feedback, if you have some ideas for some interesting features, please do let us know. We will leave our contacts to this video, so you will be able to contact us, and let's talk about it and see how it can be made more useful and interesting for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dmitry. My name is Ruva Mankola, and I'm a senior research consultant at Breaking Blue. I work across a range of sectors, including B2B2C, consumer, health, and tech, solving clients' critical business challenges. As part of Breaking Blue's advanced analytics team, I've been able to build up my knowledge on text analytics from a consulting perspective, and I'll be going through a case study to show how text analytics can be applied in market research for additional insight and value. There are a range of text analytics software out there, but at Breaking Blue, we tend to use Q as our main tool. So I'll be showing you some outputs that we've created using Q. So let's take a look at one of our case studies. At the time, GoPro was in the media as they were struggling with sales. So we wondered if we could use product reviews to gather insight on what might be happening. To give a bit of context, GoPro regularly releases new action cameras with updated and new features. However, the updated and new features don't often make the new cameras that much different from the older models. We also chose to analyse this product as we're particularly interested in the tech sector, and with tech products being so commonly reviewed and bought online, it was easier to find comparable products. At the time of our analysis, GoPro had discontinued their drone business. Their cameras were still considered very good and rated very highly by tech magazines and websites. But they also had a lot of competitors with action cameras that were considerably cheaper than the GoPro, and they were competing with older versions of their own cameras. We wanted to explore this further to understand why they were struggling. So we scraped reviews from Amazon about GoPro and a competitor camera, and we found that over 100 reviews per group usually works well. We focused our analysis on the GoPro HERO 5 and the AKASO EK7000, one of the best sellers in this category, but with a much lower price than the GoPro. Looking at the mean customer satisfaction rating, we can already see that the AKASO has a higher rating of 4.7 on a 5-point scale. But we want to dig deeper to understand why. We'll start with the positive reviews of the GoPro camera. What you can see on screen here is a co-occurrence network showing the top words that were mentioned in positive reviews. This was created in Q, and the thickness of the line represents the strength of association, while the size of the word represents the frequency of mentions. Great is linked to video and images, so a positive rating is mostly strongly associated with great video images. This analysis enabled us to find the connection between the words, which a simple word cloud wouldn't do, and saved us the time for manually reading through every individual answer. The bigger the words, the more mentions it has, so you can see that customers were also satisfied with the sound quality, how easy to use the camera is, and its features. As this is an action camera, a lot of reviews also mentioned holidays, or the camera being waterproof as a reason for their rating. Looking at the AKASO, there's a similar story. Great is linked to video, so a positive rating is associated with being able to produce great videos. However, interestingly, we also see a link between great and price, and there's a link between GoPro and price, and this is likely related to the AKASO camera being cheaper. Emotive words like recommend, perfect, and impressed are also more common. So we've compared the positive reviews for the GoPro and the AKASO camera, but what about the dissatisfied customers? Negative reviews can be useful to understand if there's a particular issue with a product. For the GoPro, this is where it gets the most interesting. The lines are thicker, the words are much bigger, and there are also fewer words, suggesting that a lot of dissatisfied customers are saying the same thing, and there are common issues driving a negative score, such as battery and problems with charging. Customers are unhappy with how long the battery takes to charge, and battery is strongly linked to return, where customers have had to return the camera as a result of its failures. Now let's compare this with the negative reviews for the AKASO camera. We see similar mentions of battery, disappointed, and return. But the lines are a lot less darker, suggesting that while battery is still an issue for the AKASO, the associations aren't as strong as they were for the GoPro. There are a number of other drivers outside of the battery for a negative review. For example, video and corrupt are linked together, suggesting issues with corrupted files. On the flip side of a positive review, where price was a driver for the positive rating, it can also be a driver for negative reviews, with dissatisfied customers calling the camera cheap and advising others to spend the money and go with the GoPro. After looking at the results for both the GoPro and AKASO, it became very clear that the AKASO was the winner. Customers were just as happy with the image and video quality, but also praised its low price. While the AKASO had similar problems with battery life and product returns, this wasn't as much of a key driver for negative reviews as it was for the GoPro. Well, you can say we knew this already. The AKASO had a higher mean rating, so was the winner from the beginning. But the process gave us a richness beyond the mean ratings, and using text analytics we were able to get a clearer picture of why the AKASO camera was the winner, exploring the reasons behind the customer satisfaction ratings without having to read every review. This demonstrates the value of text analytics, delivering useful insight while also saving time and cost. This is one example of how we've used text analytics at Breaking Blue. We did this analysis before the current pandemic, but now people are shopping online more, particularly on websites like Amazon. Online reviews are even more important, and there's a greater potential for text analytics to provide additional insight on data that is already available. However, it's important to note that reviews are self-completed and therefore inherently biased. People usually only really comment if they've got good or bad things to say, so it's not the same as a representative customer feedback process, but it's very useful when used alongside other research methods. Across different sectors, we've done similar analysis on online reviews for other products. But there are also a range of other applications for text analytics within market research. And while we don't use it often as a standalone piece of research, we've used it within surveys to analyse open-end data and provide additional insight. We've also used text analytics as part of larger projects where we wanted a more holistic view of a topic. For example, looking at posts on online forums such as Mumsnet. Used in this way, text analytics can give direct and in-depth access to participants' views in their own words without the intervention of an interviewer. It can also reveal insights beyond what is being posted, such as when posts are made and if there are any pattern in what is posted when. From a consulting perspective, text analytics has been very valuable in analysing open-end data to provide clients with impactful answers in a cost-effective manner. As the demand for machine learning and big data analytics rises, text analytics is expected to grow further. The global text analytics market was valued at $5.46 billion in 2019 and is expected to reach $14.84 billion by 2025, demonstrating the sheer value and potential of text analytics. Thank you to the ASC committee for organising this session, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Ruva, and thank you, Dmitry. A wonderful contribution and knowledge share there. So great to get some insight on how we can actually deliver these findings to clients. And 14 billion predicted is certainly an area worth looking into. And I couldn't stop thinking about overlaying two open-ended answers in the software to explore those gaps, maybe brand perception and customer experience. Who knows? Hope that inspires some conversation. If you have any questions or comments, usual rules apply. Social, email, sign up to the ASC's emailing list via the website. If you want to get involved in the ASC's online series, please get in contact. Everybody's welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, and see you again soon.